Good evening and welcome to the Hummer Sports Complex in Topeka, Kansas for the 2012 Kansas Class 5A Girls Soccer Championships. Hello everyone, I'm TJ Jackson. Glad to have you along here on this Friday evening. Our second semifinal features the Shawnee-Mill Valley Jaguars against Hay Indians. Mill Valley is 17-1 on the season with their only loss of the year coming in the second game of the season back on March 28th, a 3-1 loss at Staley. Since then they've been on quite a run, 32 goals in their last 4 games. For the Jaguars coming into this contest. Hayes, on the other hand, they are 16-3 on the season. They advanced to the semifinal in dramatic fashion with a 2-1 win in double overtime against Mount Carmel the other day. So they make it to this semifinal in more of a dramatic fashion than what Mill Valley did. Mill Valley was a winner in their last outing. They defeated, Mill Valley picked up a win against Mission Miege 4-1 in their last contest to advance to this semifinal. Underway here on a very warm Friday evening in Topeka, Kansas. Hayes High in the maroon uniforms going from left to right. Mill Valley in the white uniforms. And let's take a look at some of our starters today. For Mill Valley, Rihanna Gossett, the senior goalkeeper, in net for the Jaguars. And then on the other hand for Hayes High, Laura Truman, a junior keeper. Ball's going to be placed down and taken on the free kick chance here by Mill Valley as they send it back towards the middle of the field. It'll be played on a bounce now by Hayes High. Mishandled, though, in the middle of the field off of Herman, and they roll it to the near boundary. Indians have the ball. Bird just inside the touchline. Won back, though, nicely by Franklin. Deep to the left corner. Played there by Serperta all the way to the deep left side. Rolls it back towards the top of the box. Just outside the keeper's box with it right in the middle of the field. Trying to get a foot on it is Gibson. Spins back towards the left side. Gibson loses possession briefly. Now wins it back, though, here for the Jaguars. Just underway in this first half of play. Hayes High has possession now deep down that left side. Hayes coming in again. That win against Mount Carmel in their last outing. Before that, a win against Andover and Liberal to be able to make it to this state semifinal. Indians have possession. Now out to the right side with it there. Possessing. Bird just outside the touchline. Works it back to the direction. It'll be played there by Fannin Steele. Shipped back by Mill Valley towards the middle of the field. Whistle, and a foul is going to be called against Mill Valley, so Hayes High will have possession just across the midfield stripe. Mill Valley, on the other hand, we mentioned the fact that their only loss of the season coming back all the way in the second game of the year against Staley. 3-1 was the final of that contest. That was a road loss for this Mill Valley team, and they have just absolutely steamrolled people in the process to be able to get to this state semifinal. Check out some of the scores in their last couple of outings. A win against Bonner Springs 8-0. They beat Leavenworth and Casey Schlegel 10-0, and then Mission Miege, their latest victim, 4-1. In the quarterfinal to be able to get to this semifinal. Here's a corner chance now for Hayes High. Out towards the left side. Denied, though, by Mill Valley. Played there over to the right side by Howe. Good ball ahead. In transition, deep down the field, trying to win positioning. Serpeta does so, top the box. Here's an early chance now for Mill Valley, and it's a goal. Not even 3 minutes into the game. Mill Valley strikes first. Abby Serpeta puts one home, and Mill Valley with an early 1-0 lead. 37:20 remaining in this first half. Mill Valley, the number 1 seed on the northern side of the bracket. Strikes first early here against Hayes High. Talked about their offense here at the top of the broadcast, how good they are. Serperta puts one home and gives their team a 1-0 lead. Gaining possession is Wakefield, in and out of trouble. Chips it out to the right side, short to the middle of the field, played on a bounce. Kept it nicely by Serperta, goes to the deep right corner. Playing it just to the right of the box, trying to gain possession is Park, right there on the in line, but the Indians' defense holds briefly, then it's chipped on the right foot there of Howe. Over the top, and it'll be a goal kick now for Hayes. So before things getting settled here in this second semifinal, Mill Valley strikes first. The Jaguars lead it. Out of the past 11 seasons, the Jaguars have won 3 Caw Valley League titles. They've had a very successful program over that run, and it's been Arlen Van Hoff, the head coach for this Jaguar team in the last 12 seasons. Kept in nicely by Hayes, and then it's through the touchline off of Mill Valley, so Hayes will have it back. Reagan Kaiser looking to get it in, does so here to the near boundary. Deep down the right side of the field, Gully plays it back towards the middle off of a bounce. Russell trying to gain positioning, and the possession goes to the Indians. Dinkle out to the left side, intercepting it though, and coming the other way is Howell. Rolls it back to the left side, wanting some help was Howell, but didn't get it, and instead Hayes sends it to the right side, and that one's too long. The direction of Bird, and Mill Valley will have a throw in here to the near touchline. The goal coming with 37:20 to go in this first half, just underway, really in this second semifinal contest. Mill Valley another throw into the near side. Bree Franklin to do so, a junior defensive man. Lobs it in. It'll be taken just inside the touchline. Wakefield trying to create some separation, and a whistle and a foul against Wakefield, and possession will go back to Hayes. Now to the near side. Indians looking for their first real good offensive attack here in this opening half of play. Played by Bird. Back across the midfield stripe. Won by Mill Valley. Here comes Gibson down the left side. Beating Gibson to the ball, though. It's kept in by Serperta. Now to the left side of the box. Chips it with the left foot right on net. The ball is deflected, though. And it's headed in for the second goal of the contest. Out to the right side. Serperta had it trickle over the top of the outstretched arm of Truman. And putting it home on the backside for the second goal of the game. Bailey Park picks up the goal, and so it's 2-0 with 34:42 remaining here in the first half. Mill Valley strikes again. Bailey Park drops one home. Serperta really did a good job putting that one back towards the middle of the field. It took a high bounce over the top of Truman's hand, and then Park was right there to be able to drive it home. Her first goal of this semifinal, and it's 2-0 in favor of Mill Valley. Down to the right side, retreating a couple of steps to try and take it away is Wakefield. Gibson centers the pass, but it's instead deflected off of Gully's leg. Now back to the left side. Played off of a couple of bounces. Wakefield inside the touchline, angles back towards the middle of the field. Top left corner of the box makes a strong move. Centering passes again, chipped high and wide left, and that one was just a little bit high and wide to the left. Otherwise, Wakefield might have found herself in the scorebooks on a good centering pass. So 2-0 is our score. Mill Valley on top. Both of the goals coming quickly in the first 6 minutes of the contest. Chip to the near side. It'll be played off of a bounce. Kept in, though, by Wakefield. Back to the direction of Serpeta. Off of a bounce. Serpeta with possession here for Mill Valley. Centers it middle of the field, taken away by Hayes. Traveling from left to right and losing possession, though, as Hamner did a good job of racing back and getting a piece of that one. And now it's possessed here by Hayes to the near side. Big collision between Bird. Also there was Franklin. Bird maintains possession of it, chips it to the deep right side. Herman deep, but is unable to get there as Gossett plays it back towards the middle of the field. Off of a bounce. The direction of Bird. Bird tried to send it over to Fennensteel, but it was too far, and it's through the touchline to the near side. Throw-in will come from Kaiser, looking to get it in here for the Indians. Does so to the right side. Turned back to the middle of the field by Franklin. Played off of a bounce. Gibson tries to work it to the near boundary, and it's through the touchline, and it'll stay in possession here for Mill Valley. Jaguars an early 2-0 lead. Trickles through the touchline again. It'll stay for Mill Valley in game one of our doubleheader. St. Thomas Aquinas, a 1-0 win against Bishop Carroll, so the number 2 seed on the south side, advancing to the state championship game tomorrow. They'll play the winner of this one Mill Valley loses it through the touchline to the near side. 8 minutes into the first half, 2-0. Jags on top. Throwing will come from the Indians here to the near side. Reagan Kaiser looking to do so, a sophomore for this Indian squad. Lobs it into the middle of the field. Herman trying to turn the corner, loses possession though. It's won instead by Howe. Angles it out towards the right side. Hamner, good footwork out towards the right boundary. Kept in there nicely over by Saperda to the far corner. Nice touch pass as they go back to Siebel. Siebel stumbles though, loses possession. Hayes had it briefly, but now it's taken away. Mill Valley on the attack as they have been a good portion of this first half so far. Gibson to the left side, chasing it down is Wakefield. Top left corner of the box, Wakefield cuts back to the right, leaves it atop the box again for Gibson. Into the middle, and it's going to be taken off of a couple of bounces by Truman, the junior keeper for this Hayes High team. Truman drives it down the middle of the field off of the big right foot, play to the right side. Good chase over on that far side. Siebel trying to save possession for Mill Valley. She does. Looks ahead for Howe. Bumped off possession briefly by Hayes. Here come the Indians down the middle of the field. Driven by Russell, but taken away by Mill Valley. Trying to possess it. Saperda unable to do so. Saperda already with a goal. She had the first one of the game, coming in with a 37-20 remaining in the first half, and then Park added one with 34-42 remaining in the first. That's where we stand right now. Almost 10 minutes into this opening half. On the right side, Park with possession. Chips it, deflected though, back through the touchline off of Johnson, and it'll stay with Mill Valley. Mill Valley trying to win possession. Hamner with a header deep down the field into the defensive third for Hayes. Indians have possession right around the midfield stripe. Slipping though is Kaiser. She slips down. Now a whistle and a foul is going to be called against Hayes. And a free kick chance coming up here for Mill Valley. Ball will be placed down just across the midfield stripe. Driven off of the right foot. Back towards the middle of the field. Played nicely by Gibson. Gibson chips it. It's deflected off the hand of Truman and up and over. Truman just got enough of it to hit that crossbar and saves a third goal from happening early on here for Mill Valley. Deep down the middle of the field. Jaguars have the possession again. Johnson in the defensive third. Out towards the right side in between a couple of Indian defenders. Out the direction of Hamner down that right side. Played off of a bounce. Centering again. Racing up though is Truman, and she bumps into Saperda briefly. And Truman hangs on to it and drives it away. Mill Valley the early 2-0 lead. Out to the right side. Howe, nice touch and go. Good ball here just inside the box. Referee says play on as the offensive player for Mill Valley was knocked to the turf, and Truman quickly boots the ball the other direction, playing it off of a bounce. Backpedaling is Bird. Looking ahead, finds Herman to the near side, loses it through the touch line, and Herman will play it in for Hayes. We're going to see a couple of substitutions now. Linville will come in, so will Looters for the first time for Hayes. 27:51 remaining here in the first half, 2-0. Mill Valley on top. We're also going to see Romejo coming in for the first time for Mill Valley, a sophomore forward. Here's the throw in by Mill Valley to the near side. It's kept in though by Russell. Deep to the right corner, giving chase there for Hayes. That was Linville who just came into the lineup, and good hustle by Linville allows Hayes to have possession deep in their offensive third. Here's the throw in from the right side, played by Linville off of a bounce. Chips it high over her right shoulder, backpedaling a couple of steps. A defender there for Mill Valley. That was Kokin. And now it's Kept to the right side by Mill Valley, and a whistle and a foul against Hayes. And Mill Valley will have possession back. You look at some of the offensive numbers for Mill Valley. Not only are the offensive numbers impressive, but then when you look at it, they just have not allowed many goals on the season. The one against Bishop-Miege in the quarterfinal contest, that was the first goal that they've given up since April 16th, in which they won a game 9-1 on the road. But that had been the last time they had given up a goal since in that quarterfinal contest. And so you look at not only the offense for this Mill Valley team that has been so impressive all season, but also how good of a job they've done defensively. Jaguars had the possession, knocked off the ball though. Here come the Indians up the left side. Trailing by 2. Murphy out to the left boundary, rolls it back deep to the middle of the field. Struck off with the left foot by Kaiser. Played off of a bounce though by Franklin. Franklin works around Linville to the near side. Tries to send it long, but is redirected her way, and Franklin's going to be content to let it roll through the touchline. And with a quick throw-in, Mill Valley hits it through the touchline to the near side, and Hayes will have possession back. Litter's looking to get it in, does so quickly. One back briefly by the Jaguars, deflected off of an Indian here to the near side, running up a couple of steps so as Luters to get position. Angles it over to Linville, pops it off of her head, hits it with the right foot. Peeled off of the play, though, by Franklin, and the ball rolls free in the middle of the field. Racing back for Mill Valley, that was Conklin. Into possession for Gibson. Weaves her way through 3 defenders, out towards the right side here for Mill Valley. 25 to go in the first half. 2-0. Jags on top, and they were 2 quick goals to start this contest. It's out of play to the far side of the field, and now we're going to have a couple more substitutions coming in as Mill Valley will have possession over on the far right side. Take a look at how each of these teams were able to make it to this portion of the state playoffs. You look at this Mill Valley team. They were the number 1 seed on the north side, a 10-0 win against Casey Schlegel. That was in the regional final, and then a quarterfinal win against Mission-Miege, 4-1. The final of that contest. And you look at Hayes, how they were able to advance. A 2-0 win against Liberal, a 1-0 win against Andover Central, and then Hayes able to knock off Mount Carmel 2-1 in double overtime, and that was a pretty nice win for Hayes to advance to this semifinal and knock out Mount Carmel in that last contest. They trail it early, though, here against Mill Valley. Jags with the possession. Hamner, middle of the field, tries to roll it the direction of Romejo, and it's chipped to the left side. Giving chase to the near boundary. It was hit by Luters, and then off of the leg, they say, of Wakefield to the near side, and Hayes will keep possession. We're going to see Kaiser coming in to throw it in for Hayes. You can see her there, number 4. Reagan, a sophomore for this Lady Indian squad. Look at some of the starters for this Hayes High team. Not a lot of seniors on the squad, a lot of juniors, so still some upperclassmen, a couple of sophomores starting, and Kaiser's one of them. Fannin Steele is one of them as well. Off of a bounce, winning it was Herman briefly. Poked away, Romejo to the near side. Played now by Wakefield. Wakefield spins back to the right, but wanted some help from Franklin, but pushed it too far wide to the right of Franklin, and it's through the touchline. So Hayes will hang on to possession here to the near side. Shannon Schubert, a senior on this Indian squad. She'll throw it in here to the near side for Hayes, trailing 2-0. Lobs it to the right side. Popped into the air. Headed by Wakefield off of a couple of bounces. A whistle and a foul against Mill Valley. So Hayes will have a free kick chance coming up just inside that right touch line. It'll be placed down by Schubert. She will take it. A mini wall of 2 set up by Conklin. Also Romejo there for Mill Valley. Backing up a couple of steps is Schubert. Chips it with the right foot. Good ball to the middle of the field. Backing up a couple of steps was Linville. And Mill Valley's defense holds. Bermejo to the near side. Rolls it towards the direction. Saperda had it briefly. Now trying to win it back for Mill Valley. A good battle going on between Saperda and then also right there was Linville. Now to the right side. Conklin drives it. Nice save, though, by Truman. That was just high, and she put the gloves on it and comes up with the stop for Hayes. Good save there by the junior keeper. Down the left side, high into the air again. Herman over there on that far boundary. Plays it back over across the touchline. It'll stay in the direction of Hayes as it's sent off of Mill Valley. Approaching 21 minutes to go in the first half. Good save here again for Truman. You can see the good approach here by Kronk. Glenn put a good swing on it and struck it well with that right foot, but Truman was able to come up with the stop and keep the score 2-0. Sent back now through the touchline across the way. Mill Valley throwing across the way. It'll be played off of a bounce by Conklin. It rolls through the touchline off of an Indian. And Mill Valley will again hang on to possession as play is stopped with 20:31 remaining here in this first half. It's been a good start to the contest for Mill Valley. They have early goals, 2 of them in the first 6 minutes of the contest to lead it 2-0. The winner of this game will take on St. Thomas Aquinas tomorrow afternoon for the Class A5 state championship beginning at 2 o'clock. Third place game will be at noon tomorrow. Bishop Carroll will await the loser of this contest. That first semifinal, St. Thomas Aquinas had a goal with 13:06 remaining in the first half by Coutey, and that was able to stand. So that's how St. Thomas Aquinas advanced to the third straight state championship game. And now Mill Valley, a pretty good start to this one. Saperda had a goal, 37-20 remaining in the first half, and then Park followed up one with 34:42 to go in the first, and that's where we sit right now. Mill Valley will have a throw-in across the way. Conklin, the junior forward, will await the signal to be able to start play again with her team up by a couple. Lobs it to the right side, just inside that touch line. Back to the direction of Conklin. Stopped on the centering pass by Kaiser. Strikes it with the left foot. Backpedals a couple of steps up that left side. On the attack is Bree Kaiser for Hayes. Now deep down the field. Racing back a couple of steps and then finally coming up is Gossett, who just strikes it with the right foot. Played by Luters. Chipped towards the middle of the field. Big collision there and a whistle and a foul against Bird. Megan Bird colliding with Hamner, and the whistle comes out, and Mill Valley will have possession back, leading by a couple of them. Driven by Koch down the middle of the field, out towards the right side as the ball is fanned that direction. Gathered in, and they try to go the direction of Conklin. Now to the deep right corner, and it's going to go all the way through the in line, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for Hayes. Hayes will get it back down by a couple. Mill Valley, another one of those teams, much like St. Thomas Aquinas. We mentioned that St. Thomas Aquinas has won 4 of the last 6 state titles. Mill Valley having some similar success with 3 Cal Valley League titles in the last 11 years. Even more so on the high school boys side. They've won 6 Cal Valley titles in the last 12 years. With possession for Mill Valley is Kaylin Hamner. Hamner up in it on the play, and a whistle on a foul against Hayes, and that will allow Mill Valley to hang on to possession. Ball will be placed down, and Mackenzie Koch, the junior defensive man, will take the free kick. You can see the Collision again. Koch puts one right on net, and a big collision at the net as the ball squirts free. Hayes trying to clear. Mill Valley trying to keep it in. The ball still rolling free and finally is driven down the field off of the foot of Schubert. And now Truman was a little bit shaken up on that latest collision. Mill Valley had a couple of players right there. Truman went to grab a hold of it, kind of got hit in the stomach area. You can see her doubled over just a little bit, trying to catch her breath a little. Just over 18 minutes to go in the first half. Truman possibly getting the wind knocked out of her a little bit on that latest collision. The official checking with her. She signals she's okay, ready to hang in there. And the junior keeper will stay in net here for Hayes. Hayes will have a free kick coming up after the stoppage of play. They do so over to Dinkle to the left side. Dinkle angles it over to Kaiser. Kaiser trying to make a move. Dinkle, nice pass as she cuts back to the left. Looking for some help and redirects it off of the foot. I believe that was Hamner over there that had it trickle off of her, and so it'll be a throw-in for Hayes across the way. Traveling that way will be April Johnson to throw it in. Throw-in goes to the left side. Kaiser back over to Johnson. Makes the move around the defender. Didn't have anybody helping in the middle of the field for Hayes, and now the ball will be sent across the midfield stripe, chipped off of the right foot now of Russell to the right side. Russell, a good ball out to the right boundary, played there by Herman. Herman to the left side, atop the box, to the right corner, and it's wide. Good ball by Linville as she was able to get a good piece of it, but the strike was high and wide to the right. And Hayes misses out on the opportunity to cut the lead down. Ball will be placed down by Gossett now. She will take the goal kick here for Mill Valley. In the middle of the field, Romejo plays it off of the header over to Wakefield. Leaves it to the direction of Gibson. Gibson didn't get a lot on that strike, and now it'll roll back to the direction of Gossett again, and she comes up a couple of steps and makes the stop for Mill Valley, and now she'll strike it with the right foot. Short kick to the right side, trying to play it off of a bounce, but right there trying to win it was Johnson. Good pressure applied by Hayes, and that causes the ball to go through the touchline on the far side off of Mill Valley, and Hayes will hang on to possession. Sun continuing to set here in Topeka, Kansas. Really not being too much of a factor for the players on the field, except looking back across the field maybe as it continues to set. And a whistle and a foul going against Hayes, and now Mill Valley will have a free kick chance. Haley Siebel, a junior defensiveman for this Mill Valley Jaguar team, will take the free kick, races up. Strikes it with the right foot. Down the field, played off of a bounce. Spin move attempt, unsuccessful. Knocked off possession, though. Tumbling there for Mill Valley. That was, I believe that was Park that was knocked off possession briefly, and she's going to be okay, and possession will go back to Hayes. Out through the touchline across the way. Mill Valley will have it right around the midfield stripe, leading 2-0. Solid first half so far for the Jaguars. Give Hayes a lot of credit, though, because after the initial shock of 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of the contest, they've settled down and have done a much better job defensively. Here's Mill Valley, though, knocking on the door again. This one's put right on net, but Truman goes low, and she makes the save. Wasn't a lot of steam on that one, but Truman comes up with the stop for Hayes. Down the middle of the field, headed by Franklin. Here come the Jaguars the other way in transition out to the right side. Top right corner of the box. Offsides is going to be the call, and it's the first time we've seen offsides in this one here tonight. So 14 minutes to go in the first half. Mill Valley, a 2-0 lead. Jaguars looking for some more. Hayes trying to find an organized opportunity here. They haven't had a lot of them in the first half. Out of the two keepers, Gossett has had the smallest amount of work to deal with here in the first. Deep left side, giving chase to the near boundary is Gibson, you see running right into your picture, and Gibson wasn't able to catch up with the long strike there as it trickles through the touchline, and now Kaiser will throw it in. Kaiser to the right side, it's headed by Wakefield, back towards the middle of the field. Played off of a bounce there by Koch. Looking to the right side, racing up a couple of steps is Hamner. Hamner atop the box. Nice move in the box, and it's taken away defensively, though. Gully doing a good job helping out on the defensive side for Hayes. Prevents a possible another goal for Mill Valley. Caitlin Gully, nice job there defensively to help out her keeper, as it was going to be a one-on-one opportunity, it looked like, for Mill Valley briefly. Free kick chance now for Mill Valley. They'll place several players over the ball, just the top right corner of the box. Ball's chipped on net, and it hits the crossbar, and then it's redirected wide left. That one was well placed on the drive, but it's for naught because they weren't able to find pay dirt, but a well-struck ball off of that free kick chance. Here you see the 1-2-3-4-5 formation. Struck well, but sometimes the keeper's best friend, the crossbar, has to help out, and Truman will take it, no doubt about it, and she will take the free kick chance here for Hayes. Down by a couple. Trickles it out to the left side. Murphy has the possession for the Indians. Off the foot, they say, of Howe to the far side of the field. Hayes will have a throw in across the way. Ball takes a couple of bounces back towards Mill Valley. Rolling in the direction of Wakefield. Wakefield makes a nice move around the defender. Dribbled it a little too long. Sent deep down the field. Nobody home deep, though, for Hayes. And coming up a couple of steps and making it an easy stop is Gossett. Gossett retreats into the box just a bit, runs up and strikes it down the middle of the field. Ball will be played on a bounce. Here by Mill Valley, a chance here to the left side. Wakefield out in front, being chased by the Indian defender and Kaiser, and she's going to be sealed off the ball, and it's through the inline. So good job by Reagan Kaiser, hanging back defensively and doing a good job of stopping that run by Mill Valley. When the ball was around midfield, it really looked like the Jaguars had something to work with. And a couple of times tonight, we've seen Indian defenders make some pretty big plays against the Jaguars. Chip to the near side, struck off of the foot again of Wakefield, right back to Truman. Comes up and makes the stop, and Hayes will send it down the left side. Off of a couple of bounces, Indians trying to redirect it to the middle of the field instead. It's back over towards Johnson, and she'll send it down the field for the Jags. Trying to make the turnover on that far corner. Ball rolls free in the middle of the field. Played off of a couple of bounces. Possessed now by Hamner for Mill Valley. Hayes trying to win it back. They do. They're successful at it. Deep to the right side, but coming up a couple of steps was Franklin to put a foot on it. Stopped there in the middle of the field by Bird. Bird a little further down the field, going over towards Herman. Herman a good run at it. Back to the right side. Sent by Finn and Steele wide, but still a good organized attack there by Hayes, the best one that they've had here in this first half. Mill Valley will make a change, and we're going to see Howe coming back in. And in Steele, good chance to the right side. Just getting the piece of it possibly. It was Gossett there as the ball was just a little bit wide. Now it's deep down the right side. Hayes racing back defensively. Gully is there, trying to turn the attack away, but a good job by Romejo to the top left corner of the box. Romejo goes low, knocks it free. It'll roll through the touchline to the near side. And possession will go to Hayes. Good attack, though, by Mill Valley as they've been after it from the start in this one. Throw will come in from Kaiser. Played off of a bounce. Almost a handball there to the near side. Good cut to the right by Park. Park looking ahead, finds Howe. Howe drives it. Just wide right on the attack from Howe. Good ball, though, from Park to get it to Howe in a pretty good position. Just didn't quite capitalize on the chance she had. This is our second semifinal today. First semifinal was a 1-0 win for St. Thomas Aquinas, advancing to the championship game tomorrow. Kept in nicely over to the far side by Howe, now high into the air. Played off of a bounce. Here's Hayes over to Herman. Herman between a couple of defenders. Chipped off of the left foot. Murphy tried to go to the left side. Kept in, though. Dribbling it out in front. Trying to make a move. Atop the box is Hamner. Cuts back to the left. Tries to feed it in between a couple of defenders. Romejo upended on the play. The referee says play on. Gibson atop the box again. Cuts back to the left. Gibson has Wakefield to her left. Wakefield centers just a little far out in front of Howe. Also there was Park. Good organized attack, though, by Mill Valley. That one was just a little too far out in front of both where Howe and Park were, and it's still 2-0 in favor of the Jags. A couple of substitutions now for Hayes. They'll rotate some fresh legs into the contest. Under 7 to play here in this first half. Over on the right side, Hayes trying to clear. Kept in nicely, though, by Koch. Now towards the right side. Off of a bounce, Hayes. Moved by Herman. And the ball rolls free, though. Park has possession. Deep to the right side. Rolls it ahead. Howe inside the top right corner of the box. Howe looking back to the right. Leaves it atop again. Racing up a couple of steps. Now chipped to the backside. And Truman backpedaling and making a nice stop, though, on the cross attempt. They were trying to work it back to Wakefield to the near side. But Truman grabbed a hold of it. Now Koch right around the midfield stripe for Mill Valley. Chips the pass to the right side. Koch trying to use her size and knock the defender off the ball. A whistle, and the extension is whistled by the referee, and so it'll be in favor of Hayes. Down the left side. Herman back towards the middle of the field. Played off of a bounce. Trying to turn the corner is Kaiser. Now back again towards the midfield stripe. Romejo to the near side. Wakefield up the left boundary. Has Romejo to her right. Howe deeper in the middle of the field. Good stutter step move. Wakefield cuts inside the box. Now to Romejo. Left corner. Romejo cross. Ball's deflected away. Romejo trying to keep it in. And it's finally cleared by Hayes. We'll give the Hayes defenders a lot of credit here in this first half. They have been really doing a good job after that first 6 minutes of helping out. As you see a good chance here. Romejo attacks just inside that left box and drives it. Good job hanging back defensively. It was Kaiser that got a piece of it. And then the clear. Now here's another chance for Mill Valley. The ball's deflected off of the side of the head of Howe. A bit shaken up after that one. Howe pops up, though, after taking that one off of the chops. Charlie Howe, a junior forward for this Mill Valley team, hanging tough. Mill Valley, a couple of early goals here in this first half. Zyperda had one not quite 3 minutes into this first half, and then followed up by Park with one just a couple of minutes later. Ball rolls through the touchline to the near side. Hayes possession. Kaiser looking to get it in. Throws it over her head, deep down the right side. Played back across the touchline to the near boundary. Kaiser again will throw it in. Off of a bounce. Kept in nicely here to the near side. Fan and steal. Back towards the middle. Bird had it taken by Mill Valley. Howell to the left side. Good room to work with. Here's Gibson. Gibson ahead. Looking towards the box. Finding Schmidt that way. And it's going to be a goal kick for Hayes. Schmidt just couldn't quite catch up to it. It was a good thought there by Mill Valley. Just a little too firm on the pass there over Schmidt's direction. And Reagan Kaiser will take the free kick. Drives it with the right foot off of a couple of bounces. Herman plays it in the middle of the field. Here comes Mill Valley again. Struck off of the left foot. This one's high and wide to the left by Hamner. Hamner had a good idea. They're going to say it was deflected by Truman, and so it'll be a corner chance for Mill Valley. The Jags looking for something right before the end of this first half. Mill Valley will have a corner here to the left side. It'll be taken by Siebel. Drives it with the right foot to the near post. It's deflected right back Siebel's direction, and she'll keep it in the offensive third here for Mill Valley. Struck to the back post again, giving chase on that far side. Trying to keep it in between the legs. Park trying to battle for positioning. Struck again, and this one finds the back of the net. Mill Valley finds their goal right before the end of the first half. This one coming from Hamner. Hamner puts Mill Valley on top, 3-0. 2:04 remaining in the first half. Mill Valley kept cracking at it. Had another opportunity right before the first half came to a close, and they have a healthy 3-0 lead. Kayla Hamner, the junior midfielder, knocks in her first goal of the night. Hayes will have a kick chance here just after play started at midfield. Ball's placed down. Rolls it short to the right side. Sherbert sends it over to the far boundary. Gossett bounds out of her goal just a little bit. Comes up with a stop. Here's the goal now. You can see Hamner on the far side. Worked at it. Good strike, good placement, just over the top left shoulder of Truman. And that gives Mill Valley this 3-0 lead. A whistle and a foul against the Jaguars, and the Indians will have a free kick chance with just over a minute to go in the first half. Ball's going to be placed down for Hayes. The referee wants it closer to the middle of the field instead of over to the right where play was originating. So it'll be placed down. Kaiser will take the kick here for the Indians. Turns it back to the left side, but it's short. Headed by Koch up that right boundary. Just inside the touch line. The Indians trying to keep it in. They're unsuccessful at doing that. And so it'll be possession for Mill Valley. Now the referee comes over and says no. He wants it to go back over to Hayes. So Hayes will have it. Chipping it over her right shoulder was Kaiser. Back to the right corner, Gibson. Mill Valley trying to keep it in, but the side official says no, that it was out. And so Hayes will have another crack at it with 20 seconds to go. Kaiser with a throw-in into possession of Schubert. Taken by Mill Valley, driven down the middle of the field. It'll be retreated and played now by Breed Kaiser up the left side, and the first half will come to a close. So Mill Valley, not only do they have success in the first 6 minutes, but they had one late in the first half, and they have a significant 3-0 lead here against Hayes as we have hit the half in our second semifinal. After one half, Mill Valley 3, Hayes 0. Halftime here in Topeka. And welcome back to Topeka, Kansas in our second semifinal. This one between Mill Valley and Hayes High. And you can see Mill Valley in control of this one. 3 goals in the first half. The first one coming not quite 3 minutes into the first half. Abby Saperda put Mill Valley on the board first with her first goal of this contest. Then Park followed up with hers just a couple of minutes later. And then with 2 minutes left in the first half, it was Kayla Hamner adding her first goal of the contest to give Mill Valley this 3-0 lead here against Hayes High. They are 40 minutes away from being able to propel themselves into the championship game tomorrow against St. Thomas Aquinas. Mill Valley has possession first to begin this second half. Out to the middle of the field, right there. A collision and a whistle, and possession will go back to Hayes. Hayes really shell-shocked after that first 6-minute burst when Mill Valley struck real quick. And to give Hayes a lot of credit, though, they were able to settle down defensively. And then late in the first half, the goal by Hamner was just a really great move and put it in a perfect spot to drill it in for her first goal of the contest and give Mill Valley this 3-0 lead. Offsides is the call here across the way. And possession will go back to Mill Valley. Mill Valley in white, traveling from left to right. Hayes in the maroon uniforms. Our first semifinal was a win for St. Thomas Aquinas, 1-0 against number 1 Bishop Carroll. St. Thomas Aquinas awaits the winner of this one for the Class 5A title tomorrow. Off the left side, knocked off possession here for Hayes. Kaiser kind of upended on the play. Ball's thrown in the direction of Herman. Touches it back off of the right foot. Played by Johnson. Back to the middle of the field. On a couple of bounces, trying to gain the positioning, is Bird. Chipped to the right side. This one's deep by Russell, but it's going to be wide to the right. And Gossett will retrieve it from behind the net. Just underway here in this second half. You look at Hayes, they've only lost 3 times this season. They've been used to being in some tight games, especially during the playoffs. However, they have not ever trailed in these 2012 playoffs. A 2-0 win against Liberal, 1-0 against Andover, and then a 2-1 win in double overtime against Mount Carmel to be able to get to this point. So Hayes having to play from behind here in the second half. Throw-in comes from the far side. Ball was deflected by Koch back to the direction of Wakefield. Trying to make a cut to the left was Johnson, but lost possession of it. Sent deep by Gibson down to the left side. Wakefield over there on that far boundary. Knocked away, though, by Kaiser. It'll roll through the touchline and stay with Mill Valley. Jaguars lead it here against the Indians. Sent back to the middle of the field, high into the air. Kept in nicely there, briefly by Murphy. Hamner to the left side, Wakefield. Back towards the middle, played off of a bounce, nicely by Truman. And makes the stop for Hayes. Off of a couple of bounces, Koch now to the near side, chips it deep right corner over the shoulder. Trying to gather it in and gain positioning. Saperda right along the in line. Centering pass is just a little bit too far in front of where Conklin was. Wakefield and Conklin were both there, but it was just ahead of Wakefield, and she wasn't able to catch up to it. If she would have been there, it probably would have been the 4th goal of the contest for Mill Valley. It was well placed. Hayes looking for their first tally of the night. Played off of a couple of bounces, back into the box. Now to the right side. Here comes Kaiser. Trying to desperately get it out of the defensive third, but a whistle and a foul is going to be called. Here to the near side. So the ball will be placed down just to the right of the box, and Saperda will stand over it along with a couple of other offensive players for Mill Valley. Mini wall of 3 set up now by Hayes. Perta chips it with the right foot, right on net though, but Truman was there to make the stop for Hayes and comes up with the save. Chips it short to the right side. Really nobody home though for Hayes on that attempt on the clearance by Truman. Back towards the top of the box, played it off of a bounce, did Gibson. Retreating a couple of steps, and Koch sends it to the left side. Racing over to her right to play it off of a bounce was Russell. Out towards that right boundary. Conklin is over that direction. Cut back by Wakefield, a tad behind the centering pass. Now cutting back to the right is Bird. Wants to make a move, deep to the right side. Sends it long. Racing back defensively, though, is Johnson. Crosses the field with it. Seibel puts it up the right side. Into possession now for Park. Park going just outside of the box. Gathered in nicely, though, on the play by Hamner. Hamner sends it to the middle, and it's cleared out by Hayes. Off of a couple of bounces, here comes Johnson. Johnson deep down the middle of the field. Stopped nicely, though, on the defensive side for Emily Johnson of Mill Valley. Back the direction of Gibson. Gibson, good ball ahead to the left side. Centering pass is going to be denied, though, nicely over on the back end. Johnson was there. April Johnson that was for Hayes to squash the attack. Now to the left side again. Wakefield. Again, the centering chance. Ball's out in front of the net. Truman goes low and makes the stop for Hayes. Down the middle of the field. Hayes trying to mount an organized opportunity here. Ball's deflected. As Dinkle tried to clear it to the right side, the ball rolls back to the right, and now it's taken away by Mill Valley. With it is Park, atop the right corner of the box. Goes to Syberta down to the right side, low, and Truman is there again to make the stop for Hayes. Rolls it out with the right side, with the right hand into the left side, I should say. Up the near boundary, with it is Johnson. Johnson trying to turn the corner, working against Schmidt, and it's through the touchline to the near side. And Hayes will hang on to possession. Bounces it to the middle of the field, chipped off with the left foot. Deep for Dinkle down the field, trying to make a cut is Kaiser, and a whistle against Hayes, and possession will go back to Mill Valley. So 32 minutes to go in this one. Mill Valley a solid 3-0 lead, all 3 of the goals coming in the first half. Cut off by Koch. Tries to send it to the left side. Off of a couple of bounces, Gully sends it to the right side, but it twists and rolls through the touchline across the way. Throw in coming now for Mill Valley over on the left side of the field. Deflects off of a Indian player across the way, and it'll stay with the Jags. A couple of substitutions now for Mill Valley, working some fresh bodies into the game. Leading by 3. Centering pass is deflected away. Hayes trying to clear it out of their defensive third. Chased down by Kaiser, but it's kept in nicely. Kaiser comes up with a good takeaway. Tries to win it back to the left side for Johnson, but rolls it too long. It's taken by Siebel. Here come the Jags again, down the right side. This is Gibson, cuts back left. Nice move. Out towards the left boundary, wants to go the direction of where Remejo was, and rolls it up the far boundary, and it's going to slide through the touch line, and it'll be a throw-in attempt for Mill Valley. Here comes the throw-in to the far left side. With it is Gibson. Gibson in between a couple of different defenders. Rolls it back to the direction of Franklin. Chips it off with the right foot across the field. Coming in a couple of steps is Park. Park looks to the right side. Had it knocked away. Johnson has it for Hayes. Across the field goes the direction of Bird. Megan Bird unable to catch up to it, and it'll make its way across the end line as well. And so a throw-in quickly comes for Mill Valley. Down the left side, racing back defensively to try and clear it out is Bird. Over there in the deep right corner on her defensive third. Also there is Gully. And it's out off of Mill Valley, so Hayes will have a chance to throw it in. On the left side of the box, towards the middle. Truman goes high. They were trying to work it to Park on the backside, but Truman just did beat Park to the ball. And now rolls it ahead here to Johnson. Johnson working the direction of where Kaiser was, and as Kaiser spun to her left, she wasn't able to keep it inside the touch line, and it goes through, and possession goes back to Mill Valley. So Mill Valley's offensive prowess continues as they've just been dominant offensively, not only in this one, but throughout the playoffs and really the season as well. You look at all of the success that they've had, only 4 games this season have they allowed a goal. 3 of them coming in the game on March 28th. That was their second game of the season. It was a 3-1 win for Staley against Mill Valley. That's their only blemish on their record this season. Bishop Miege scored a goal. Seaman scored a goal, and then also Mission Miege scored a goal in their last contest. Those are the only 4 teams that have scored against this talented Mill Valley team. In the middle of the field, Gibson angles it now over to Hamner to the far right side. Hamner sends it to the deep right corner. Hayes trying to clear, and all they can do is avoid the corner and knock it through the touchline to the near side for a throw-in. So Hayes will be on the defensive, still in their defensive third. Back towards the top of the box. Hamner across the field. Played off of a bounce. Good move, and the ball trickles a little too far away from where Franklin wanted to go with it, and now Hayes comes the other direction. Dribbled too far out in front again. This is Johnson now for Hayes. Popped high into the air. Mill Valley able to keep it on their end of the field. Zaperta back the direction of Park. Wants to go left. Johnson intercepts the ball, though, comes back the other way. Johnson in between a couple of defenders. Rolls it out to the direction of where Linville was, but it was too strong of a pass for her. And now here comes Koch the other direction. Koch ahead, looking for Romejo, trying to keep it across the inline, and it's going to trickle the direction of where Truman is, and it'll be a goal kick. Have a substitution for Hayes coming up in just a moment. 27 minutes to go in this one. Hayes trying to work themselves out of a hole. They've been down from the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the contest today. Goal 2:40 in, and then about 5.5 minutes in, they were down in an early hole against Mill Valley. The Jags able to add one late in the first half, and that's where we stand right now with a 3-0 deficit for Hayes. Over to the right side, giving chase there for Hayes is Murphy. It's going to go all the way through the end line, and it will be another goal kick. Laura Truman, the junior keeper for this Hayes team, has had a couple of nice saves here tonight. Reagan Kaiser, the sophomore, places down the ball. She will take the kick for the Indians. Chips it short to the near side, just does clear the box with it. It'll be kept in now by Mill Valley. Hamner across the field. It'll be retrieved over there by Romejo. Romejo touches the direction of Wakefield. Wakefield over to Franklin. Franklin trying to make a move, creating some space between herself and the defenders. Peeled off, though, by Luders across the way, and it'll be possession for Hayes. Hayes will have a throw-in their defensive third. They've been desperately trying to work their way out of their defensive third this entire second half. Here's a shot attempt from atop the box, and painted again. This one is banged home by Hamner, her second in a row. Hamner, her second goal of the contest, has given Mill Valley a 4-0 lead. 26:04 remaining here in the second half. Hamner second. This one coming from just the top of the box, and Mill Valley rolling right now, leading 4-0. Put a pretty good swing on it with the right foot, and you can see it here just atop the arc. Good strike by Hamner. Goes back to the left side off of a bounce. Truman diving to the right, trying to make the stop, was unsuccessful. And Kayla Hamner has 2 goals in this state semifinal game. Out through the touchline across the way. So Mill Valley on top 4-0. Rolled low along the ground. Gathered in by Linville. Linville trying to turn the corner. She might be shaken up as she's still down. And play is going to be stopped right now. Linville was trying to gain possession of the ball as it was rolling to her, and down right now for Hayes, and she's going to be attended to here to the middle of the field. 25-27 to go in this second half. 4-0 is our score. Mill Valley leads it here against Hayes. Mill Valley 3 in the first, and now 1 so far here in the second. Michelle Linville, a junior for this Hayes team, a bit shaken up at the moment. Our first semifinal had St. Thomas Aquinas winning 1-0 against Bishop Carroll. Bishop Carroll going into that contest at 17-1, falling for just the second time this season, and St. Thomas Aquinas advancing to their 3rd consecutive state championship game. They have a chance for their 3rd one in the last 3 years. They have had 4 in the last 6 years, so Mill Valley appears to be the team that they are going to face tomorrow in that state championship contest. So that would be a pretty good matchup between those two with the way that both of them have played. You can see Mill Valley, a lot of laughing and joyous ruckus going on over there on their sideline as they've enjoyed a lot of success so far here in this state semifinal. Hayes hoping that their teammate's going to be okay. Saw an injury in the first game here earlier tonight, and that's never a good sign. Hoping that they'll be able to make a quick recovery and be able to play in the game tomorrow. 3rd place game will be at 12 o'clock tomorrow here in Topeka, and the championship game at 2 o'clock. Mill Valley 17-1 coming into this game. Hayes High 16-3. Mill Valley has been so dominant throughout the playoffs. You can see a nice crowd on hand cheering on their squads here tonight in this state semifinal. Kids having a good time, enjoying what has turned out to be a pretty nice evening here in Topeka. Had some humid weather, some sunshine a little earlier today. Has since clouded over, and nice little breeze continuing to blow and cooling things down here. Just a nice summer-like evening on this Friday before Memorial Day. You look at both of these teams here in this contest, and Hayes, the number 2 seed on the south side of the bracket. So Hayes, the number 2 seed, they took on Liberal in the first round of the playoffs, won that one 2-0, and then the 7 seed Andover Central, and that was an interesting contest. Hayes able to hang on and win that one 1-0 before advancing to the quarterfinal matchup and taking on Mount Carmel, and Mount Carmel were the number 3 seed going into that one, and it was a 2-1 win for Hayes in double overtime to propel them to this state semifinal. And Mill Valley, on the other hand, getting a bye in the first round. They played in the regional final against number 8 Casey Slagle, won 10-0, and then they defeated Mission Miege. Mission Miege was the 14 seed on the north bracket, 4-1 in the quarterfinals. So Mission Miege doing a good job of rallying their troops a little bit to get that far, and they finished their season 9-10. So Mill Valley with that win comes into this one 17-1 on their way to 18-1, it appears, in this one. 25-27 to go in the second half. Mill Valley leads it 4-0. They scored 3 in the first. Zaperta put one home with 37-20 remaining in the first half. And then just a couple of minutes later, it was a goal from Bailey Park. Park put one home with 34-42 remaining in the first. So right away in the first 6 minutes of the contest, it was a 6-0 lead, or a 2-0 lead in the first 6 minutes for Mill Valley. And then Hamner added one late in the first half with about 2 minutes to go in the half. And then Hamner again at the 26:04 mark just a couple of minutes ago with her second goal of the contest has given Mill Valley this 4-0 lead. So 25-27 to go in the second half of this contest. Mill Valley, in the past 11 seasons, they've won 3 Kaw Valley League titles. They've had a lot of success, and now we're going to see the cart coming out here. Never like to see this in any type of a sporting event. Michelle Linville is the injured Indian right now. Was running in the middle of the field, and I believe she just caught the side of another Mill Valley player and kind of spun, and the way that she was sitting on the ground, kind of favoring one of her arms, doesn't appear that it is a leg injury, I don't think, but still down right now being attended to. So 4-0 is our score, Mill Valley on top. In our first semifinal, St. Thomas Aquinas, a 1-0 win against Bishop Carroll. Aquinas getting a goal from Cute, and that was enough to hold the fort for the Saints in that one. That happened with 13:06 remaining in the first half, and they were able to hold Bishop Carroll scoreless in the second half and make it last. Well, the Saints had some good chances in that first matchup today, and Bishop Carroll mounted a pretty good rally late in the second half and put a lot of pressure on the Saints, but they were able to hold off. And so the number 2 seed on the south side of the bracket advancing to tomorrow's championship game at 2 o'clock, and Bishop Carroll will take on the loser of this one for third place in tomorrow's consolation game. Mill Valley, the number 1 seed in this one, leading number 2 seeded Hayes 4-0. Linville still being attended to by looks like they're continuing to work with Linville's maybe left arm, left shoulder, somewhere in that area. The way that she was holding it with her arm kind of crossed over towards her chest, it looked like it could be some type of a shoulder injury, and they continue to work with her right now. So Linville now sitting up. Linville's teammates looking on and concerned for their injured teammate at this time, and holding what appears to be her right arm, her right shoulder. Appears to be what is injured right now here in the second half. So 25-27 to go in the second half of this second semifinal matchup. It'll be interesting to see which teams are going to be able to recover quickly tomorrow, because forecasted highs for tomorrow here in Topeka expected to be in the low to mid 90s, right around 93, maybe 94, and some sunshine. And with games at noon and 2, see what teams can recover quickly enough and come up with wins tomorrow. So 4-0 is our score at this point. A couple of goals by Mill Valley in the first half, and then Hamner adding her second of the game just a couple of moments ago. 26:04 remaining in the second half, and it was a good strike. Both of Hamner's goals have been fairly significant strikes, putting good placement on the ball, good speed, and able to find Pater a couple of different times. Good to see Linville up on her feet now, and appears that she's going to be helped off for the field. So they're going to walk her over to the Gator that's on the field right now, and they're going to help her off. And nice to see her up and about, and the staff taking good care of Michelle. She's going to be carted off at the field right now. She's going to be carted off at the field, still kind of holding that right shoulder area. Play will be set to resume here momentarily. 25-27 remaining in the second. Mill Valley on top, 4-0 here against Hayes. Michelle, a junior for this Hayes team. So the ball will be placed just across the way inside the touchline, just shy of midfield. Mill Valley with 3 in the first, 1 here in the second. Winner of this game will get St. Thomas Aquinas tomorrow in the championship at 2 o'clock. Ball sent down the middle of the field, played now by Hayes, working from right to left. Hayes in the maroon uniforms, played off of a bounce now to the left side. Over towards Gibson. Chips it towards that left corner. Remejo there, just inside of the touchline. Mill Valley's centering pass is going to be played now to the near boundary. Hamner looking. Saperda makes the move, but now has it taken away by Johnson. Feeds it ahead just to the right of where she wanted to go in Bird, and now Mill Valley will play it off of a couple of bounces. Hamner wanted to go to the right side, bounced over the leg of Saperda to the near side. Races up a couple of steps. Looking to the deep right boundary. Played there by Gibson off of a couple of bounces. Wakefield back towards the middle of the field, deep down that right side. 24-19 to go. The direction of Gossett. Gossett backed over to the right side of the field. Siebel just inside the touchline. Chips it with the right foot. Angles it to the middle of the field. Played off of a couple of bounces. Now to the direction of Johnson. Johnson in between a couple of defenders. Crosses it. Just inside the circle. Stops it with the right foot, does Schubert. Wants to go back towards the left. Bird had it trickle behind her. Now with a good organized attack. That was Kaiser who was knocked off possession and retracing her steps and collapsing back defensively to help. Saperda did a good job for Mill Valley. Schubert down the left side. All by herself was Herman, but she was well off sides, and that is the whistle. So Mill Valley will have possession back. Just a click over 23 minutes to go in the second half of this one. Are the Jaguars done? That is the question right now. They have scored 32 goals in their last 4 contests, 4 of them in the quarterfinal win. 10 before that, 10 before that, and then 8. That's how their scoring has gone over the last 4 or 5 games. Out to the left side. Romeo angles it. Blocked by Truman once. Romeo trying to gather it back and then feeds it over to Wakefield just to the left corner of the box. Wakefield in between a couple of defenders. Cuts back to the left. Retreats a few steps. Tries to wiggle her way again in between a couple of defenders. Does so to the top left corner of the box. Wakefield, great ball possessing, and now loses control of it to the right side. Herman has it for Hayes. Pushes up the far boundary. Stops, pivots back to the left. Tiptoes in between a couple of defenders. Rolls it to the direction in the middle of the field for Russell. Kaiser touched over to Johnson. Rolls it back to the nearest side. Wants to go to Kaiser, and it was just a little too firm on the attack, and it's off of Hayes. And now a quick throw in right away for Siebel for Mill Valley. Mill Valley player stumbles. That was Hamner in the middle of the field. Hayes trying to keep it in. They go the direction of Kaiser, but it was wide to her left. Chipped over the left shoulder of Siebert. And now Mill Valley trying to clear. Deep to the right side. Stopped there by Murphy. Couple of bounces. Played by Saperda. Out to the right side. And it's going to go through the touch line to the near boundary. And a couple of substitutions now for Hayes. 21:15 remaining in this second half. 4-0 is our score. And we'll have a throw in here to the near side. Kaiser to do so. Lobs it down the middle of the field. Played off of a bounce. Siebel trying to angle it that direction. All the way across the field. Kept in, though, by Hayes. As they try to feed it to the right side, Herman possesses the ball that way. Loses control of it, though, and it trickles through the inline. And a throw in now for Mill Valley across the way. Jags have led it from the get-go tonight. Gibson down the left side. And a redirect off of a Hayes player. Gibson gains possession, cuts back to the left. A nice move there. Looking towards the top left corner, Romeo had Hamner over to her right and rolled it left instead and was behind the offensive player there for Mill Valley. Kept in by Franklin to the left side, just inside that touch line. Franklin trying to keep it in, but Hayes trying to win it back. Chip short. Racing up a couple of steps. The ball trickles now to the right. Johnson trying to work her way around the Mill Valley defender. And a whistle and a foul against the Jaguars as Kaiser tried to make a move. Was clipped on the play and ended up falling to the turf. And now they're going to give Hayes a free kick opportunity. It'll be placed down, 19:30 to go in this second half. Off of a bounce to the near side. Mill Valley has the possession, racing back a couple of steps and trying to win it. Doing so is Russell for Hayes. Russell to the middle of the field. The Indians have an opportunity now. Out in front. Gossett was awaiting an opportunity to try and make a save tonight, but the Indian attack was turned aside. So April Johnson will throw it in, the junior for this Hayes team. Has it deflected. And now a whistle, and a foul is going to be called against Hayes, and Mill Valley will have control back. 18:41 remaining in this second half. 4-0. Mill Valley on top. Driven down the right side. Ball's stopped there on the foot of Murphy. Back to the near boundary. It's going to go through the touchline off of the Jaguars, and it'll come back to Hayes. So Mill Valley used a good attack from the get-go tonight. Good offensive explosion in the first 6 minutes to really cement control of this one, and they haven't looked back since. They've added a couple of goals since then, and they lead it 4-0. Over to the right side, just wide of where Dinkle was, and now it's sent down the field. Truman will come out towards the top of the box and bend down and get a hold of it. Chips it to the near side, the direction of Johnson. Played off of a couple of bounces. Johnson makes the move, working around the defender and Peters. Deep down the left side, wanted to go to Herman, but the ball was just short of Herman as she was streaking down that left side. Trying to fight for positioning was Dinkle and had it taken away by Mill Valley. Racing back on the defensive end is Murphy. Murphy trying to seal off the attack from the Jaguars, and it'll go through the touchline to the near side. Johnson with the possession for the Indians, trying to work her way in between a couple of different defenders. Chip back over to Johnson just inside the left touchline. With it is Herman. Over to Johnson. Good ball by Johnson, trying to cut back to the left in between a couple of defenders. They chip it over the direction of Kaiser. Offsides is going to be the call, though. It's been that type of a night for Hayes. You can see Kaiser kind of putting her hands on her head, wondering what to do there. And it's a 4-0 lead for Mill Valley as we approach 16 minutes to go in this second semifinal. Struck down the middle of the field. Romejo sends it with a header a little further, and it's played back by Hayes. Off of a bounce to the near side. Zaperta went a little bit low over towards Siebel, now down the right side. Zaperta back over to the defensive third for Mill Valley. Out towards that right boundary, played there by Emily Johnson, the senior defensive man for Mill Valley. .15:40 to go in this second half. And it's through the touchline, and Hayes will have a hold of it. So Hayes with the possession. Still looking for their first tally of the game. Trying to go low was Johnson. Taken away by Mill Valley. Referee says play on. Romejo giving chase now to the near side for the Jaguars. Hayes trying to clear. Trying to keep it inside that touch line. The ball rolls free. Coming up a couple of steps. Zaperta with it. Hit low by Herman. And sent up that right side. Taylor Herman, the junior for this Hayes team, finds Kaiser down the middle of the field. Strikes it long. Going for Schubert. It was a little bit firm. And it's taken back instead by Mill Valley. Up that right side comes Peters. Over to Johnson. And it's through the touchline, I should say, and it'll be possession for Hayes. .14:31 to go in this one. Mill Valley will advance to the championship more than likely for tomorrow's 5A title against St. Thomas Aquinas. Here to the near side will be April Johnson. She'll throw it in for Hayes. Lobs it in, played by Kaiser. Bree Kaiser trying to turn the corner. Now it's sent all the way deep down the field, retreating into the defensive third. Winning it, though, for Mill Valley here to the near side. Jaguars won a little bit more, and a whistle, and possession will go to Hayes. 13:45 remaining in the second half. Mill Valley 3 in the first half, 1 here in the second. Top right corner of the box with it. Sent just a little bit wide to the left. That one coming off of the foot of Charlie Howell. Now just a little bit wide on that attempt, and it'll be placed down for Kaiser. Kaiser will take the kick now for Hayes. Winners of their last 3. They played very well coming into this one. A lot of close contests for Hayes, including that double overtime win against Mount Carmel in their quarterfinal matchup. Now to the near side, it's going to be stopped. Played by Park, wanted to go to the right. Had Peters kind of angling towards the net, but the ball was deflected away. Stopped there by Herman. Herman looking to the right, has Johnson that way. Instead comes back to the left. Goes to Kaiser, rolls it back middle of the field, and now it's sent deep down the other direction. Stopped by Peters, feeds it to the middle of the field. It's deflected off of Gagnon's hand, it looked like, but no handball is called, and now it's all the way down the field. Kaiser trying to chase and get it, but offsides is the call, and the possession will be for Mill Valley. Loser of this one will take on Bishop Carroll tomorrow at noon for the third place game, and then the championship at 2 o'clock tomorrow against St. Thomas Aquinas. Here's the drive down the right side of the field by Siebel. The ball kind of tails back towards the left corner of the box. Racing back that way is Kaiser. Kaiser trying to spin it towards the middle. Struck off of the leg of Gagnon. Out of the top corner again and into the back of the net. Driving it home and knocking it in. Another goal for Mill Valley. This one coming from Lauren Gibson, the senior. Puts one home, and Mill Valley leads it 5-0. 11:36 remaining in this contest. So Gibson puts one in. You can see it here right at the top. Gibson strikes it. Well placed into that right corner. Just like both of the goals from Hamner. Hamner's were struck from distance, and both of them were able to find pay dirt. And so now it's a 5-0 lead here for Mill Valley. They add to their totals in this one. 11 minutes to play. In the second half, Mill Valley has goals from Zaperta, 2 from Hamner, 1 from Park, and now 1 from Gibson. Here's another chance. Gibson has it out to the left side. Howe trying to chase it down. The pass was a little too firm. Howe, though, collides, trying to win it back from Gagnon. And it's going to go out through the touchline, and possession will stay with Mill Valley. 10:33 to play in the game. So substitution for the Jaguars, also one for Hayes as they'll rotate some players off. Here's the throw in by the Jaguars across the field. Hamner gathers it in, angles it back to the left. Romejo trying to make a move just outside the top left corner of the box, and it's driven back by Hayes. Off the foot now, played there by Franklin. Indians have the possession. Russell, in between a couple of defenders, strikes it with the right foot. Wanted to go back the direction of Schubert, but instead it's sent the other way by Mill Valley. Mill Valley has done a pretty decent job this entire game, really possessing the ball and having good organized attacks, and they've been able to find a lot of success on the offensive end. Gibson again. Back towards the middle of the field, played off of a bounce. Hamner racing up a couple of steps, drives this one up a right corner, and that one's too strong. Hamner hit it just a little bit firm and went to the upper right corner, and it was too tall. Now it looks like Gibson's going to slide out of the contest and have a seat with 9 minutes remaining. Hayes has possession of the ball, down 5-0. Under 9 to play here in this second half. Also the touch line to the near side, and the possession will go to Hayes. We mentioned the fact that Hayes has a pretty good mixture of young players that start for them, but also some upperclassmen. No seniors in this Hayes lineup, a lot of juniors. So very talented still, and a lot of experience will be coming back next year for Hayes as the ball rolls through the touchline across the way. Mill Valley, on the other hand, you look at their starting lineup. They have a sprinkling of seniors, some juniors mixed in, and a very much more upperclassmen oriented than what Hayes is. Now we're going to see a different keeper coming into the game for Mill Valley. Brianna Gossett will slide out. So Gossett didn't get a whole lot of work tonight, but will check out with 7:40 to go. Chip back down to the near side. Played off of a bounce. Johnson sends it the other way. Mill Valley trying to keep it in, attacking from the left side. The attack is low, gobbled up by Truman as she went low to save it. Emily Johnson on the attack. Trying to win the possession, and Mill Valley has it now. Deep right side, ball deflects off of Park, high into the air. And it's going to roll through the touchline to the near side. So Hayes has the possession, down 5-0, under 7 minutes to play here in the second half. And some more substitutions for Hayes. They'll work some fresh bodies into the game. Trying to gain some experience with this fairly young Hayes team. It's the impressive thing when you look at not only these two teams, but the other semifinal contests from before. All four teams really have a lot of combinations of upperclassmen and younger players to be able to field both of their teams. So a lot of experience will be coming back for all four teams here in this state semifinal. 6 minutes to play, some more substitutions coming on for both sides. St. Thomas Aquinas will take on Mill Valley tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And Hayes will take on Bishop Carroll at noon tomorrow for third place. So Mill Valley, not only will they take on St. Thomas Aquinas tomorrow to try and stop the Saints' run, but they'll also try and pick up what could be their 19th win of the season. They'll go into the game tomorrow at 18-1. Truman comes up with a stop for Hayes, sends it down the right side. Playing it off of a couple of bounces is Herman. About 5 minutes to go in this one. 5-0 is our score. Mill Valley has led it from the get-go tonight. The scoring started again, not quite 3 minutes into the game. Abby Cyperta put one home for her first goal of the contest. Then after that, Bailey Park dropped in her first just a couple of minutes later. So 2 goals in the first really 6 minutes of the game for Mill Valley, and they have not looked back since. They've added 3 since then and lead it 5-0 here. Up the left side, centering pass is a little too long from where Park is, and it's played back by Hayes. Off a couple of skips to the near side, Brule. Up the right side, here comes Johnson. Trying to turn the corner, Johnson instead peeled off. Siebel comes up with the possession. Now Johnson hops over her and tries to win it back for Hayes. Slips a little bit to the turf, and it's chipped to the left side. Off of a bounce by Russell. Looking, Hamner has a couple of tallies in this one. Both of her goals coming earlier. One at the end of the first half with 2:04 to go in the first. And then with 26:04 remaining in the second, she put in goal number 2. Deflected out to the right side. One back now by Mill Valley with possession is Megan Schmidt, the junior forward. Into the offensive third. And now some pushing and shoving between the two teams as whistle, and possession will go to Hayes up the left side. They'll go over to Megan Bird. Trying to play it off of a couple of bounces. Now Park feeds it towards the middle of the field. 3:22 to go. Struck low along the ground. Up a couple of steps to play it on a hop. Hayes has maybe their best chance of the second half as it's turned away to the far side. Up that boundary, and it's through the touch line, and Hayes will have it right around midfield. Ball's thrown in, chipped by Park. A lot of different players getting into the action for each of the teams, and not only good when you have a experienced squad, but a great way to get some of your young players some playoff type experience playing in a game like this as they send it towards the top of the box again. Hayes trying to clear. Ball's deflected. Still working with it as Reagan Kaiser, she peels it away to the near side. I give Kaiser a lot of credit for that one. She was staying with it defensively. Now Johnson over to the left side. Park steps in front of her. The ball trickles away. Collision in midfield as the ball is sent to the deep right corner. Ball will bounce a couple more times, and it's going to roll through the touchline to the near side. And possession will go to Mill Valley. Under 2 minutes to go. Throw into the right corner of the box. Right back to the right side. Now a centering pass is going to be taken on a bounce by Truman. And comes up with a stop and drives it with the right foot. Down the middle of the field. Played by Bird. Over to the right side. Bird didn't really have anybody to work with there as it came off of her head and through the touchline. So Mill Valley will gain the possession back. Towards the middle of the field. Played off of a hop there. Carolyn Peters, a sophomore midfielder for this Mill Valley team. Out to the right side, giving chase there as Brule for Hayes, and it'll go through the touchline again. So the throw-in comes from the Jaguars over on the far left side, right in front of the Indian bench. 1 minute to go here in the second half of this one. Down the right side. You can hear some clapping going on here at the Hummer Sports Complex as Mill Valley realizing that they are going to be able to advance to the championship game tomorrow to take on St. Thomas Aquinas. To the middle of the field, the ball will be played. All the way back towards the back line for Mill Valley. Up ahead. Now inside the touchline. Final 25 seconds remaining here in the second half of this one. Goals from Saperda, Park, Hanner with 2, and Gibson have allowed Mill Valley to win this one 5-0 against Hayes High. So Mill Valley will win it. They'll send one towards the net as the final seconds tick away. And Mill Valley is headed to the state championship game. 3 goals in the first, 2 in the second, and no trouble with Hayes High here tonight as you see the Jaguars celebrating as they will move to the state finals tomorrow to take on St. Thomas Aquinas. Hope you enjoyed the game. Our final score, 5-0. Mill Valley wins it. They will move to tomorrow's championship game against St. Thomas Aquinas. We'll have that game coming your way tomorrow beginning at 2 o'clock. Hayes will take on Bishop Carroll for third place beginning at noon. For our studio producer, Steve Thomas, everyone with Niles Media, I'm TJ Jackson. Thanks for listening. Good night from Topeka, Kansas.